Hey everybody, this is a definite new kind of like, when you run out of new movies to review, or if you can't get them out on time like many other reviewers out there, I guess I find the way, to entertain people, well, talk about some older movies. So this is definitely going to be different, a little bit different. This is a nostalgic review of the movie Cool World. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So here we go.
During his 10 years in prison, Jack Deeves created his own world. It made him very successful.
You're Jack Deeves, the creator of Cool World, right? Can't believe it.
Now he thinks he's going home to the real world. But he's wrong. Real wrong.
Welcome to my world.
You're not in Kansas anymore!
Cool World Police.
This is definitely one of those mind kind of movies. Animation is definitely the best part of this movie, but one thing is for certain: this is a bad movie. It's many people have complained over the last couple decades or so that it's been around, or decade and a half. Anyways, the main complaints about this movie are: number one, the acting. Considering it's got a technically relatively good cast. We got Kim Basinger playing the really hot and flirty Hollywood. She plays a character that's originally a cartoon character, but then through some strange situations, when a cartoon has intercourse with a human being. And in the movie, the cartoon's characters are referenced as doodles, and human beings are called noids. Humanoids, noids, get it? Alright. And when that happens, they become human.
I've been waiting for you, darling.
Noids do not have sex with doodles. It's the oldest law in Cool World. If that happens, you call me.
I got it, boss.
Since it's only a dream, indulge your fantasies. Man is in the bedroom. Are you gonna follow the rules? Or are you gonna follow your instincts?
You're about to make an unscheduled trip to the other side.
Yeah, she's really likes the sexy type. And that's what Hollywood wants, is to become human and just do crazy things in the real world.
I just want to be real.
Gabriel Byrne, he's at least from what I know him is from In Treatment fame. He's basically, this is one of his earlier roles here, and I can tell where he definitely doesn't fit this movie at all.
You gotta slow down.
Not on your life, pal.
I can buy him being a cartoonist, but as a person who ended up in prison, I can't buy that very much. So there's a lot of conflict with this movie where I can't buy. I could have honestly bought Brad Pitt as a detective, but the fact is, this is his acting right here.
This place should be erased.
Hey, it's a living.
You look good in the flesh. It's almost a shame I gotta take you back.
He says some of the most cliched detective lines. It's almost like because he is originally from the 1940s, give or take. I can't, the early, somewhere from that era, and they actually show him getting sucked into Cool World, which is by a doctor something or other. It's a random cartoon character they made up for this film, played by Maurice Lamarche, who does many of the characters in this movie, along with Charlie Adler, who plays the cop / sidekick to Brad Pitt in this movie. He's one.
Buster!
This is gonna be the biggest disaster the Cool World has ever seen.
Stop! Cease!
Nobody's gonna stop me now.
Even though the director Ralph Bakshi, if I'm even saying that right, he originally did another movie called Fritz the Cat. I've never seen the movie, but I can say I looked at its animation style through some trailers. A unique style to this movie. I really love the random violence. It's just a cluster of every proportion in every scene. There's just random stuff just floating around, just like, just like that. So if the plot wasn't convoluted enough, Jack Deeb's trying to get over his whole getting released from jail and confronting Hollywood finally having the sex of his dreams, I guess, to screw his own creation. I guess that's cool, and she becomes human, and it becomes a really awkward situation. I really have never seen something like this. This is just really weird because throughout the film they kind of change back and forth, and Jack Deeb's character also becomes part cartoon, and they just kind of flash back and forth. It's really freaking insane. And along with Brad Pitt trying to catch Deebs and Holly, it's just that whole chase kind of scenario. So moving along, the whole situation backfires. Holly goes crazier, if you can believe that one. And Deebs has to step up and just say, "Hey, I'm the one who has to stop her. I brought her in this world. I gotta take her out." It kind of looks like that. Brad Pitt goes off and chasing them still throughout the whole movie, and it's just one really big mess up of animation. Think this movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, meets any, pushing PG-13 rated movie with all the bad language and sex and violence you could ever want. So that's pretty much what I can think of as comparison to this movie. It's really out there. That's why I kind of find it a little bit unique, mainly for the fact is there hasn't really been another movie like this. Even though if it did fail on the story and being so just everywhere, kind of like the animation, I still enjoyed this for some. I'm personally am an artist. I love animation. I love cartoons. Always drawn them since I was a kid. And I thought, well, definitely Who Framed Roger Rabbit was many levels above this movie. And considering this movie came out afterwards, critics bashed this even more back then when it came out. So I give credit for them trying, I guess. Ralph Bakshi, I've never really got into too much of his movies or work, but I see an attempt. There was potential. This leads us to the most important part of the show, is the rating. And this is definitely one of the more difficult things to rate when it comes to nostalgic movies that I've learned while making this particular video. It is a nostalgic piece. It really is something from my childhood. But giving it a rating on an actual movie scale, I have to say 2.5 out of 5 stars, mainly for the fact is it did fail, unfortunately, on the character and plot situations, and that's pretty much the heavy hit of it. It couldn't do what Roger Rabbit did, but hey, I appreciate it. It's a good cult / nostalgic kind of movie, so especially if you're a fan of live action crossover animation kind of movies, so it's good to check out. I'd say it's worth a watch. So yeah, thank you for watching. Feel free to rate, subscribe, and comment, and keep going to the movies. Or in this case, go to your local video store if there's even one, considering everyone has gone bankrupt nowadays. So there's always online streaming.
Enough out of you, kitty. Cool world.
We may not be real to you as yet, but we will be.